Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, it's the Michigan primary day, and as a swing state, political eyes are watching our races.
Nationally, the biggest race is the vacant seat for the Senate, and on the Democratic side right now, Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin is looking to fill the shoes of longtime Senator Debbie Stabenow, and right now you'll see she's beating Hill handily with 80% of the vote, Hill Harper with 20% of the vote.
Now on the Republican side, it was a full race between Mike Rogers and Sandy Pensler, Justin Amash, and Sherry O'Donnell. Former Congressman Rogers actually won, you can see, in a landslide, 64% of the vote. And so it'll be him versus Slotkin, and that is in November.
And one of the most contentious congressional races is for the 13th district, representing a large portion of Detroit as well as several other Wayne County communities. Detroit Councilwoman Mary Waters is battling incumbent Sri Thanedar for this seat. And look at this right now. You can see 72% of the votes thus far going to Sri Thanedar. Mary Waters with 18%, Shakira Hawkins with 11%.
And those numbers still coming in. But as we mentioned at the top of the show, Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin bringing home the win for the Democratic Senate primary.
And so, of course, now, as we say, she'll face off with Mike Rogers for the seat in November. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack live from the watch party in Detroit. And right outside that watch party, Jess, not really a big surprise in terms of it ending up being these two.
Not at all, and you just read off those numbers. Turned out to be quite a bit of a landslide against Hill Harper, and it really came down to name recognition for Representative Elissa Slotkin, and of course generating money, those campaign donations. The last 3 months alone, Elissa Slotkin raising some 16 times more than Hill Harper, but she didn't spend too much time in that acceptance speech talking about Harper. She's moving on to the general election.
Now that the primaries have come to a close, we now know who our Republican opponent will be. That will be Mike Rogers. He just won the primary. No, we don't boo. We win.
It's a coveted open U.S. Senate seat, and Representative Elissa Slotkin has been the favorite by Democrats to take over the vacancy left by retiring Senator Debbie Stabenow. A packed house in support of Slotkin at the St. Regis Hotel, downtown Detroit.
My sun and my moon, absolutely existential, is protecting and expanding the middle class. I can't tell you how important it is. I think it's, like I said, existential. Michigan invented the middle class, that radical concept that you could work at an auto plant and afford the car you were building.
I think that as we look at our country and the divisiveness, we need somebody that's a coalition builder, somebody who's not just going to speak when the cameras are there, but who's actually going to get stuff done.
Detroiter and union contractor Brian McKinney says Slotkin has his vote.
She's going to present her facts and stand on her principles, and I think that's what we need, and I think it will come down to the wire, but I feel confident that she's going to prevail.
It comes down to the issues for her supporters. One of them, Monique Marks, who runs a youth organization in Detroit plagued by gun violence.
One of the things Elissa is talking about is gun violence. How can we make it better? Why is there so many firearms on the street? Why are they so accessible to children?
Integrity, caring, and a real person, just some of the ways Congresswoman Slotkin was described on Tuesday night.
I believe in our democracy and in our country. We are at our best when we have two parties that push and pull respectfully against each other, that debate issues of substance respectfully and civilly, right? That we are healthier and we have stronger and more durable ideas when we have healthy, respectful debate. It's how our founding fathers intended us to be.
Now, Elissa Slotkin's Democratic opponent, Hill Harper, who we talked about, the actor and newcomer to the political game. We reached out to his camp. He said he is not making any comments until all of the votes have been counted, and that has not happened quite yet. Reporting live downtown Detroit, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Thanks, Jessica. Now, as we mentioned, Mike Rogers has won the Republican primary for a highly coveted seat in the U.S. Senate.
And tonight, Rogers spoke to a group of supporters in Lake Orion with a promise to change the state for the better.
This election is the most consequential election, I think, in my lifetime. We are going to change things for the better and get Michigan back on track, or we are going to let the Democrats take us to a place no one wants to live.
Now we look at the race in Detroit, where Councilwoman Mary Waters is battling incumbent Sri Thanedar in the 13th Congressional District.
Waters is currently in second place, and this race is actually getting close. Fox News' Dave Kinchin joins us live. And Dave, you know, when we first brought you the results at 10 o'clock, obviously we had fewer precincts reporting. Now, how's it looking?
Yeah, well, I can tell you, Sam Riddle, the longtime political operator here, one of the operators in the city on stage right now, and I can tell you some of the numbers that we're looking at. It's tightening up here. Mary Waters, 44.92%. Shri Thanedar, 45.54% of the vote right now. So this is a tight race. That's the city of Detroit's numbers. City of Detroit's election returns, nearly 29,000 votes in so far. So you can tell this crowd is really getting fired up as we look at some of the video from folks trickling in throughout the day here at Burt's Marketplace in the Eastern Market. Burt's Marketplace, Eastern Market headquarters for the Mary Waters campaign. Waters is an at-large Detroit City Council member. She previously served in the state legislature. She was there serving with then Representative Gretchen Whitmer at the time, of course now governor. So Waters goes back a ways in Michigan politics. Waters says that she ran against incumbent Congressman Thanedar because he wasn't listening to key constituents, she says, and she says if she wins and is on track to win in November, she will restore 70 years of black representation to Congress. Listen in.
Well, it means a lot for those areas of the community who does not have black representation. Clearly, the city of Detroit does not. And I don't care where you come from, whether you came here with $20 in your pocket or not, that you do not understand our issues. You just don't. But having said that, it is not just because I'm black. It is because I know how to deliver. I know how to get things done.
Would you support him if it doesn't go your way tonight and he does retain the nomination?
If he's willing to listen, but I guarantee you he's not, because I tried it before. He's not going to listen. He doesn't care what we think.
All right, so this race is tight, as we said, with those election returns coming in from the city of Detroit. Whoever does win this race will likely be on stage perhaps tomorrow when Vice President Kamala Harris is in town, is in Detroit, campaigning with her new running mate, Governor Walz, as well. So there's a lot of fast-moving parts here politically. Reporting live in Eastern Market, Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
All right, it's neck and neck right now between Waters and Thanedar. Thanks for that reporting there, Dave. And to the man just barely leading the 13th district who said tonight it's more about business than a time to party.
And we are talking about incumbent Shri Thanedar. And Fox 2's Dave Spencer joining us live in Detroit. And Dave, Mary Waters may have some key support, but Shri Thanedar has the money when it comes to this campaign.
Yeah, and he spent a lot of it during this primary season. It was a quiet night, a quick night for Shri Thanedar, who was here at his community center located on Livernois near 6 Mile for just a few minutes. He was here with a couple close friends and some staff members, just speaking with members of the media. Then he went home to watch the results go in there. He said he spent a long day up at 6 in the morning getting out to the polls, even in the rain. He said he was surprised at the turnout. There's been a number of times that he's done this before. He's had the primary election, obviously, when he first ran to get the seat. He had the general election when he ran to get that congressional seat, and also when he ran for governor back in 2018, one that ultimately he lost to Gretchen Whitmer. Now, he said he learned a lot through that process, and that this time around was able to speak with voters to kind of get a grasp of what they like so far and what they don't like so far. So things that he's all taking to heart as he kind of watches these results come in. And he says that there's a lot of momentum in his party, one that he hopes to capitalize on if he does get the nomination through November.
I think Kamala Harris's candidacy has really excited young people, people of color, and just overall there is a lot of excitement among the young people and about Kamala Harris. And I think this excitement is going to continue. So I'm going to be with Kamala Harris. I'll be speaking at the rally tomorrow, and I'm going to put my full support and make sure that Michigan is delivered to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Now, we heard we asked him about the fact that he represents the 13th district, which is primarily African-American. He himself is not African-American. He's well aware of that. He's asked some of the voters if they have an issue with that, and he said that they told him they're more concerned about the issues. They're more concerned about returning safety to the city of Detroit, getting transportation that's reliable and affordable health care. Those are things that he says he will focus on and will continue to deliver for the people of Detroit if he is indeed elected another term. Reporting live in Detroit, Dave Spencer, on the edge.
All right, the results are changing quickly. We'll check in again. Thank you, Dave. Election results are continuing to roll in on all these races across Metro Detroit. You can follow along with the results on fox2detroit.com. And at the bottom of your screen, we'll also have more election coverage coming up after the Edge on the Pulse at 11:30. And it has been a busy day of politics. After weeks of speculation, presumptive Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris has selected a running mate.
Yes, her choice, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The duo hit the ground running, making their first appearance tonight at a rally in Philadelphia.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
Walz, a veteran, former teacher and football coach, has an impressive resume. He served 2 terms as governor, protecting abortion rights, gun safety laws, free school meals to kids, and more.
Coach Walz and I may hail from different corners of our great country, but our values are the same. And we both believe in lifting people up, not knocking them down.
I learned the art of compromise without compromising my values.
Former President Trump responded to the pick on Truth Social, calling this the most radical left duo in American history.
You know, both presidential candidates have their sights set on Michigan tomorrow. Vice President Harris will be joined by her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, at an event in Detroit in the evening. Former President Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, will attend a private event not open to the press at Shelby Township Police Station tomorrow morning. Rich.
And Roop, no rain in the forecast tomorrow. It's going to be cool and pleasant for the rest of tonight. 67 for us. Look at that. Numbers in the 50s up north. We're going to get down to 61 as that cool breeze continues. And then here's a peek at your Wednesday planner. Notice sunshine returns. Temperatures back close to 80 degrees. How about a full check of the weekend numbers after the break?